Hi, I'm Landon with Pressful, and I'm here today with triple threat writer, director, actor Jason Toler talking about his latest film, Crackhouse of the Dead. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing good. How's it going?
I'm doing wonderful. Had the distinct pleasure of screening the film earlier this week. Can you talk a little bit about the film and how you were able to accomplish such a great film in the kind of a worst time in history?
No, yeah, I mean it's kind of an interesting story. We actually shot this film 3 years ago. Actually, we were planning on a release last year in theaters, but obviously COVID and theaters been shut down. I was really trying to avoid going to just a straight VOD release for the film. Myself and my other producers were like, you see so many horror films that go straight to VOD and kind of get lost in the shuffle and don't really get a chance to really, have legs on the big screen. So I definitely wanted to make sure we gave this the proper attention, even if we had to wait for it.
Yes, and now audiences are finally going to have the chance to see it, not at home, but in a theater, just like it's supposed to be viewed. I know it already premiered at a Portland Film Festival, where the Portland Film Festival of Arts, where it actually received the notation of the best midnight screening.
Yeah, we got into a lot of festivals about a year and a half ago. Reels of the Dead, Gore R Us, a couple of, we got into about 9 festivals and placed really well. And Portland was really receptive about it. So I was really happy about that.
What would you say the most challenging thing was about creating this film?
I wrote this film 7 years ago as a kind of a spec. I'm a huge horror fan. I kind of grew up watching, all the Grindhouse films. Return of the Living Dead is one of my favorite movies. Night of the Living Dead is one of my favorite movies. My first film, Half Moon, is in the werewolf genre. So I like horror stuff. And it's not, from my experience, a lot of, black filmmakers that have really been able to kind of immerse themselves in that genre. Like so many other filmmakers, I'm a fan of so many horror and zombie films, and don't really see a lot of representation of us in those films. It's usually the black guy who dies first. So I wanted to, take the kind of Night of the Living Dead, kind of blueprint and kind of update it for modern times. So the biggest challenge for me was trying to, how do you make a zombie film interesting and different, without being cliche. In spite of the title Crackhouse of the Dead, this is a straight horror film. We're not playing it for comedy. We're not playing it for laughs. I'm actually not a big fan of horror comedies, to be honest. So, I wanted to make sure that, from everybody, from the actors, the producers, knew kind of the vision that I was going with this.
And what would you say, or who was your biggest influence to make this film and your love for the horror genre in general?
There's so many. I mean, I'm from George Romero to from Wes Craven. There's so many horror directors. Clive Barker, that I'm huge fans of. But I also like the classic slashers, the Freddy's, the Jasons, the Vampires. Who doesn't love those?
Yeah, and I mean, you started by adapting your own stage play, Half Moon, to a feature film, which currently streams on iTunes, Hulu, and Amazon Prime, and pretty much every other streaming network. And then you kind of moved into this space. Is there something that you like in particular? Do you like movies better than stage plays, or do you just like it all?
Yeah, I mean, the stage play thing was just kind of a start entry into filmmaking. I've always been a huge fan of film. I was in film school. I directed these videos for a long while for those who might know my past, my fans. From there, Half Moon was the first kind of feature I got a chance to kind of wet my teeth with, sharpen my skills on. But I have a history of martial arts, so I've been doing a lot of action stuff. My company Sunrayz has a partnership with Cinema Epic Film, so we've been doing a lot of kind of lower budget, straight to VOD tier action, thrillers, and horrors. So I'm very fortunate with that. But the goal is obviously to expand to do more. So this is a great opportunity for people to be able to kind of see, just bits and pieces of kind of some of the grindhouse influences that have kind of touched the basis in my heart. So I'm really hoping that they get a chance to watch it and enjoy it and have fun with it.
I really think this film is going to find its audience. I mean, there are so many people on Twitter that already, are so excited about this film because they love this genre so much. What do you think was your major influence or motivating factor to make this one?
I wanted to make a film kind of for the teenager. You know, there's again, these films were my babysitters. They were my friends. They were my family, right? So, you know, this film is definitely not for everybody.
Yeah.
R-rated, it's gory. There's a lot of blood and guts, but for those core people who are into horror, they're gonna love it. I made the film for them, and I made it for myself as well.
And it's got so many humorous points in it. I mean, I know it's supposed to be, a horror genre, but like you said, it's kind of a hybrid horror comedy. And sometimes those are hit or miss, they can be a little bit on the silly side. But this one is so engaging because I mean, you've got prostitutes, you've got crackheads, you've got zombies, you've got a lot of different players that don't always intersect on film. And I think that makes for a hybrid genre all in itself.
Yeah, I think that with the characters, it's like you always see these films where there's a team of people up against zombies, right? And
Right.
usually they're a team. They're people that would usually be together. They're, most recently you got the missionaries, the CIA agents, or the cops that are all together trying to do whatever. But what if you took a lot of social misfits and put them together? How would they work? How would their interactions between the undercover cop and the drug dealer and the prostitute and the pimp and kind of all these social misfits that in usual social norms they would not interact and they definitely wouldn't be working together. So what happens when you put those people together in a house and they have no choice but to work together in order to survive? So I play Detective Turner. I'm an undercover cop that's actually working on a case, and the case is almost at its end. And unfortunately, the bus does not go well, and myself and some other people end up getting stuck in a crack house for protection on the first night of the zombie apocalypse.
And from the acting, they were so authentic, and you got to really see behind the scenes of everyone. I mean, there was great exposition there, but then also the makeup, Jason, like the makeup, and I mean, the wardrobe was just spectacular for this film.
We try to do as much as we could practical effects. I really wanted to do something that was kind of a homage to a lot of the older films that I grew up on. No disrespect to CGI stuff. I love CGI stuff, but it's just something about bringing a team of amazing makeup artists and amazing practical effects artists and letting them just kind of do their thing. So, I'm really excited to see people's reactions off that as well.
If there's one place that you wish this film could premiere, one venue, one film festival, what would it be?
Oh my God! Because the film is so niche, like you don't want it to play a certain place where it's not going to get the proper reaction. Like
Right.
I've been very fortunate. I've been to Sundance, I've been to Cannes Film Festival, I've been to these huge events with other movies I've worked on, been in, and those audiences are very particular about what they're trying to see. If I explain, just first of all, just off the title alone, Crackhouse of the Dead. When you hear Crackhouse of the Dead, you don't really think, high-end film festival, right?
Right.
And then those who do watch it and are looking or expecting kind of highbrow drama, yada yada, strong social commentary. This isn't going to be the film for them. There are some messages there. There are some kind of hidden gems and hidden misses. And again, I'm going to make, and I do make other films that kind of hit those points and positions. I've worked on films that have hit those points and positions and been in those amazing festivals. But this film is, again, this is more back to my roots.
I know you've got some things coming up as well. You just wrapped a project with Haley Duff.
Yeah. There's a small part in the film, the Baby Pack, which is a sequel to the Marriage Pack. I think it'll be out by the end of the year. Just wrapped on a thriller I'm in called The Wrong Sarah. I think that's in post-production right now, so that should be out probably by the end of the year as well. And we're actually still shooting my next horror film that I'm starring in, Amityville Cop.
Ooh, Amityville. Anything to do with the Amityville horror, the old school?
It's a completely different take on it, on the demon possession thing. It's a really fun film. I'm in Los Angeles right now. We're actually filming. I got about another 9 days on this project. So yeah, I mean, I'm very, very fortunate as an actor to be having my hands kind of in all these really cool projects that are completely different and fun. So
I'll go watch Crackhouse of the Dead, guys. It's in theaters. Thank you so much again, Jason, for speaking with me.
thank you very much. You guys enjoyed Crackhouse of the Dead?
Pressful. It's so easy, as it should be.